Unstoppable Habits: The Science of Building Lasting Success. Written and published by Sonic Digest. There are moments in life when everything changes, not because of a single grand decision, but because of a series of small, deliberate actions that accumulate into something far more powerful than we ever imagined. These are the moments that define our future, the ones that set us on a trajectory we never expected. What if the difference between where you are now and where you want to be isn't as vast as it seems? What if the key to unlocking your potential lies in the simple, everyday habits you already practice, or the ones you haven't yet discovered? The path to transformation doesn't require a complete overhaul of who we are or what we do. It requires a subtle, yet profound shift, aligning daily choices with a deeper sense of purpose and intention. When we begin to understand how small, consistent actions compound over time, we realize that even the most monumental goals can be reached by focusing on the smallest of steps. These tiny shifts in mindset and behavior have the power to create a ripple effect that touches every aspect of our lives. They influence how we approach challenges, how we interact with others, and how we perceive ourselves. This is not just a theory. It's a proven pattern observed in the lives of those who have achieved the extraordinary. It's the science of habit, the underlying force that drives high performers, innovators, and visionaries to consistently break barriers and surpass expectations. It's not about willpower or motivation alone. It's about creating an environment where success becomes inevitable. The question is not if you can change, but when you will realize that the keys to lasting success are already within your grasp. Success is not a distant, unattainable dream. It's a process that begins with the simplest of choices. Whether you're looking to elevate your personal life, career, health, or relationships, the habits you form today will shape the person you become tomorrow. What if those small changes you're hesitant to make, those habits you think you don't have time for, are the exact ones that will unlock the door to the life you've always envisioned? Imagine how it would feel to look back, knowing that you were able to consistently choose the right actions day in and day out, and that those choices became the foundation for everything you achieved. The beauty of lasting success is that it doesn't require a perfect plan. It requires a commitment to the process. And in the end, it's not the huge leaps that propel you forward, but the steady, consistent steps that compound and elevate you toward the extraordinary life that awaits. Chapter 1: The Groundworks of Transformation. In the journey toward lasting success, the initial steps are often hidden from sight, lying beneath the surface like the foundation of a great structure. These unseen layers, our beliefs, perceptions, and subtle motivations, operate continuously, shaping our actions and responses without our conscious realization. To understand these forces is to gain the keys to meaningful transformation, as they reveal why we think, act, and respond in specific ways, and illuminate the paths that can carry us forward. At the core of transformation lies self-awareness, but not the kind that merely acknowledges strengths and weaknesses. Instead, this awareness requires an intimate look at the mind's patterns, how thoughts arise, what triggers certain reactions, and how habits are formed or broken. This exploration uncovers patterns laid down over years, shaped by experience, upbringing, and cultural conditioning, which influence even our smallest decisions. Understanding this framework helps unlock the potential to reshape behaviors in ways that align with our highest goals. Invisible structures like habits and ingrained routines thrive on repetition, embedding themselves into our daily lives, often becoming so automatic we don't question their impact. To transform, it is essential to bring these habitual patterns into the light, to observe them without judgment, and to ask which serve us and which restrain us. This reflection reveals that habits are neither inherently beneficial nor harmful. They are simply a product of repeated actions. Yet, by realigning these patterns, we harness their power and use it as a tool for growth. Beneath actions also lie values and aspirations, which provide an underlying direction to the choices we make. While these values often exist quietly, they powerfully influence how we prioritize goals and pursue growth. Aligning habits with our core values reinforces intentions and strengthens resolve, anchoring the transformation in something deeply meaningful. It's this grounding that lends momentum to change, turning short-lived efforts into enduring practices. Transformation is not just about willpower or motivation. The truly transformative journey involves a subtle reorganization of our mental architecture. By noticing and addressing our internal dialogues and assumptions, we begin to replace patterns of resistance with ones that support progress. Shifting from self-limiting beliefs to ones that reflect our potential initiates a steady redefinition of what we consider possible, making way for sustained change. At this foundational level, change is quiet but powerful. It doesn't begin with grand gestures, but with small shifts in understanding, subtle tweaks in behavior, and a willingness to see oneself from a fresh perspective. This grounding, once established, opens the door to a deeper, more enduring transformation that sustains us on the path to lasting success. Chapter 2. The Momentum Matrix. Momentum isn't created in a single decisive moment. It's a gradual buildup, powered by small but consistent actions that steadily accumulate. Each action, though small on its own, contributes to a growing energy that propels us forward, creating a self-sustaining force that makes it easier to keep going. In this way, each choice becomes a building block, adding to an unshakable structure that supports our ambitions, even during moments of fatigue or doubt. The beauty of this matrix lies in its subtlety. While each step seems ordinary, the overall effect is extraordinary. In the initial stages, it's easy to overlook these small efforts. They might feel insignificant or slow, yet each step forward strengthens the path to lasting success. It's like the rhythmic motion of waves. No single wave sculpts the shoreline, but the relentless combined force of thousands shapes landscapes over time. Similarly, each small action we take has a lasting impact, especially when repeated consistently and with intention. By concentrating on building routines that fit seamlessly into our daily lives, we set ourselves up for gradual but unstoppable growth. Momentum also thrives on clarity of purpose. When we know exactly why we're pursuing a certain goal, each action is infused with intention, transforming tasks into meaningful steps. Purpose acts as a compass, helping us align even small actions with the larger vision, so each task feels connected to something greater. This sense of alignment not only makes it easier to stay motivated, but also builds resilience, empowering us to persevere when obstacles arise. Knowing that every step has a purpose makes it harder to falter, for our actions are driven by something much deeper than fleeting enthusiasm. One of the most powerful aspects of momentum is that it tends to attract more momentum. When we commit to taking small steps consistently, we build confidence and gain a sense of mastery over our actions. Each success, however small, generates a feeling of accomplishment, reinforcing the habit and encouraging further action. This is a cycle that fuels itself as achievements spark motivation, which then drives us to take more action. With time, what once felt like effort becomes effortless, and routines that were challenging at the beginning start to feel natural and even energizing. This cycle of compounding is especially valuable during times of challenge. When we encounter setbacks, it's the habits we've built that keep us going, providing a structure to rely on even when motivation fades. By maintaining small, consistent actions in moments of difficulty, we protect the momentum we've worked to build. It's not the size of each action, but the act of staying in motion that matters. This resilience to continue, even when the way forward is unclear, reinforces a mindset of perseverance and adaptability, qualities essential for any long-term endeavor. At the heart of the momentum matrix is a simple yet profound idea: that success is often built not through dramatic changes, but through steady, persistent effort. This mindset reveals the potential in the small, repetitive actions that might otherwise be dismissed as mundane. Instead of waiting for the perfect conditions to make grand strides, we begin by cultivating habits that can thrive in the real world, with all its unpredictability and challenges. By honoring the power of small steps, we create a sustainable path to success, one that grows stronger with each passing day. Chapter 3. Breaking through resistance barriers. Resistance is a force both subtle and stubborn, quietly woven into the fabric of our thoughts and actions. It's a barrier that often shows up as doubt, hesitation, or an urge to delay. At its core, resistance feeds off uncertainty and fear, lurking in moments when we stand on the brink of growth and change. To move forward, we must first recognize resistance for what it is: a natural yet surmountable part of the journey toward our goals. Breaking through it requires insight, patience, and a willingness to meet discomfort with understanding rather than avoidance. The first step in dissolving resistance is to understand its origins. Resistance often arises from a protective instinct, attempting to keep us within familiar boundaries. In moments of change, the mind tends to resist what feels unknown, interpreting it as a potential threat. This protective instinct, though well-intentioned, can stifle growth if left unchecked. By acknowledging that resistance is often a form of self-preservation, we can approach it with compassion, seeing it as a part of us that simply needs reassurance and guidance. Awareness of this internal friction allows us to move from frustration to curiosity, making it easier to understand the underlying fears. One of the most effective ways to counter resistance is to break down large goals into smaller, manageable steps. The mind resists what feels overwhelming, so by transforming a daunting task into a series of simple actions, we lower the mental barriers that discourage us from taking action. Each small accomplishment builds confidence, creating a momentum that gradually erodes the initial hesitation. By focusing on what can be done in the present moment, we begin to see progress, making it easier to continue rather than to retreat. Persistence is another essential element in overcoming resistance. When resistance shows up repeatedly, it's often a sign that the goal we're pursuing holds significance. It's worth noting that true growth often brings discomfort, for it asks us to stretch beyond what we've known. Instead of interpreting discomfort as a reason to stop, it can be helpful to see it as evidence that we're moving towards something meaningful. By developing a mindset that embraces challenge, we strengthen our ability to confront and move through resistance, transforming it from a barrier into a stepping stone. Building rituals around daily tasks can also be a powerful tool. Rituals create a sense of predictability, helping to soothe the mind's natural aversion to the unknown. When we establish a routine, we allow our actions to become automatic, reducing the influence of resistance. Over time, these rituals provide a structure within which we can thrive, offering stability that grounds us even during moments of doubt. By creating consistent habits that align with our goals, we chip away at resistance, gradually making space for progress to take root. Learning to reframe resistance as a signal rather than a stop sign is essential. Instead of seeing it as a barrier, we can interpret it as a gentle reminder to examine our path, our motivations, and our methods. Resistance, in this light, becomes a tool for self-discovery, helping us understand our own boundaries and limitations. By examining what triggers resistance, we gain insight into ourselves, revealing areas that may need further growth or support. This shift in perspective not only helps us move forward, but also allows us to navigate challenges with greater resilience. Ultimately, Breaking through resistance is a skill that requires practice and a degree of self-compassion. It's not about forcefully pushing past every barrier, but about patiently working with ourselves to understand the root causes. As we continue to take small, deliberate steps forward, we train our minds to become more comfortable with change. In doing so, we transform resistance from a source of struggle into a pathway of empowerment, allowing us to step into our potential with confidence and courage. Chapter 4. The Rhythm of Success. Success has a rhythm, a cadence that aligns each action with an inner drive and a sense of purpose. This rhythm doesn't rely on intense spurts of effort or moments of grand inspiration. Rather, it thrives on consistency, a steady and enduring commitment to one's goals. High achievers have learned to embrace this rhythm, recognizing that it's not about reaching a destination in the shortest possible time, but about building a pace that is sustainable and fulfilling. This deliberate, consistent cadence turns actions into habits, and habits into a foundation for long-term achievement. True consistency is built on purpose. When our actions are aligned with a deeper sense of purpose, they gain a weight and significance that make it easier to maintain momentum. Purpose doesn't just provide motivation, so it clarifies direction. It's the force that reminds us why we started and helps us stay on track when distractions or challenges arise. Purpose-driven consistency transforms mundane tasks into essential steps toward a meaningful goal. Each action becomes part of a larger vision, creating a harmony that keeps us grounded even when external circumstances fluctuate. Within this rhythm of success, there's an understanding that progress is not always linear. The journey involves ebbs and flows, and high achievers learn to adapt their pace to match the current of their own energy and circumstances. There are times for intense focus, and other times when rest and reflection are needed. This adaptability allows for sustained effort over the long term, avoiding burnout and keeping the path forward clear. High achievers respect the natural cycles of work and rest, using them to recharge and refine their focus. A powerful aspect of consistency is that it builds trust with oneself. Every time we show up, especially on the days when it's hard, we reinforce our belief in our own reliability. This self-trust is invaluable. It strengthens resilience and reduces the need for external validation. Over time, this rhythm of commitment becomes self-sustaining, as the habit of showing up builds upon itself. The act of following through repeatedly forms a stable base, creating a profound sense of integrity and alignment within. This internal stability enables us to navigate challenges with a steady hand, knowing that our actions are grounded in a purpose that doesn't waver. The rhythm of success also thrives on discipline, but not the harsh, rigid kind often associated with it. Instead, it's a gentle but unwavering discipline, one that respects the journey while staying committed to the end goal. This kind of discipline encourages flexibility, allowing for adjustments and recalibration as we go along. Rather than being fixed and unyielding, it's adaptive and responsive, maintaining a sense of momentum without compromising well-being. This adaptive discipline is what allows high achievers to continue pushing forward while staying attuned to their own needs and the demands of the moment. Consistency, when aligned with purpose, also has a powerful compounding effect. Each small action, repeated over time, accumulates into something far greater than the sum of its parts. The rhythm builds, gaining strength and momentum, turning simple routines into transformative rituals. These daily acts, small in themselves, begin to shape one's identity, transforming aspirations into reality and dreams into tangible results. This compounding process, though often invisible in the short term, becomes undeniable over weeks, months, and years, creating a trajectory of growth that feels unstoppable. In the end, the rhythm of success is a practice, a way of life that goes beyond mere achievement. It's about living with intention, moving forward with purpose, and creating a harmony between actions and aspirations. Those who master this rhythm find themselves not only achieving their goals, but doing so with a sense of fulfillment, balance, and peace. They understand that true success is not about sporadic bursts of energy, but about creating a steady, enduring flow, aligned with who they are and where they wish to go. Chapter 5. Building the Inner Fortress. An unshakable foundation begins with core beliefs that serve as pillars, holding us steady regardless of external challenges. This internal strength doesn't rely on circumstances. It's built from within, a deep-rooted structure that shields motivation from the setbacks and doubts that naturally arise on any meaningful path. By fortifying these core beliefs, we create an inner fortress, one that doesn't just withstand the storms of life, but also fuels our persistence and growth through them. At the heart of this fortress lies self-belief, an unyielding trust in one's abilities and potential. This belief isn't blind optimism. It's a conviction built through small, consistent actions and personal integrity. Each commitment kept, each goal pursued with honesty, strengthens this belief in our own capacity to create change. When we trust in ourselves, our motivation becomes resilient to the opinions and judgments of others. This inner strength reduces the need for external approval, allowing us to move forward with clarity and resolve. In moments of doubt, self-belief serves as a reminder of our own worth and the value of our journey. A strong inner fortress also includes the power of perspective. Challenges are inevitable, but how we interpret them determines their impact. Viewing setbacks as opportunities for growth rather than defeats transforms adversity into a valuable part of the journey. This mindset requires conscious effort, as it's easy to fall into negativity when faced with obstacles. Yet by reframing difficulties as stepping stones, we prevent them from shaking our motivation. Each obstacle becomes a lesson, each failure a chance to refine our approach. With this perspective, the journey becomes less about achieving perfection and more about building resilience, skill, and wisdom. Another essential part of the inner fortress is a sense of purpose that goes beyond immediate goals. Purpose infuses every action with a sense of meaning, reminding us why we started, especially when progress feels slow or uncertain. This deeper connection to our purpose acts like an anchor, keeping us grounded through waves of self-doubt or temporary setbacks. When we see our goals as part of a larger, more meaningful pursuit, it's easier to stay motivated, even when the path is challenging. Purpose reinforces our commitment, transforming ordinary actions into meaningful steps forward. Discipline is also a cornerstone of this internal structure. However, this discipline isn't about rigid control, but about honoring one's commitment, even when motivation wanes. Discipline ensures that our actions are aligned with our values, allowing us to create consistency even when enthusiasm fluctuates. This self-imposed structure becomes a form of inner guidance, maintaining our focus and direction regardless of distractions. Each day we practice discipline, we reinforce our trust in ourselves, building a stability that stands strong through both victories and setbacks. Finally, the inner fortress thrives on self-compassion. Many overlook this, seeing it as a weakness. But self-compassion is the bedrock of resilience. It allows us to acknowledge our humanity, to accept that there will be days of struggle and moments of doubt. By treating ourselves with kindness rather than harsh judgment, we create a safe space within, one that encourages learning over self-criticism. This compassion isn't about leniency. It's about giving ourselves the grace to grow. With this approach, setbacks don't become sources of shame, but opportunities to recalibrate and move forward with renewed strength. Building this inner fortress is a gradual process, one that takes intentional effort. Each core belief, each mindset shift, and each compassionate choice adds a layer of strength, creating a structure that sustains motivation through any challenge. As this inner foundation solidifies, we become less affected by temporary setbacks, criticism, or external pressures. We become grounded, operating from a place of deep resilience and purpose, unshakable in our commitment to progress and growth. This inner fortress doesn't shield us from adversity, but it allows us to meet it head-on, fortified by a strength that can't be taken away. Chapter 6. The Science of Self-Activation. Unlocking one's full potential isn't about a single moment of transformation, but about a series of deliberate actions that elevate everyday habits into catalysts for growth. Self-activation is the process of aligning our thoughts, actions, and aspirations to create a cycle of continuous improvement. It's a science because it follows predictable patterns. Small, intentional actions set off a chain reaction, creating momentum that amplifies over time. Each choice to invest in growth fuels this cycle, transforming what once seemed ordinary into powerful tools for personal advancement. The foundation of self-activation begins with awareness. This awareness goes beyond mere self-knowledge and taps into a profound understanding of why we make the choices we do, the motivations that drive us, and the distractions that hold us back. By consciously examining these elements, we break free from passive patterns and bring intention to our actions. This level of self-awareness gives us control over our responses, allowing us to channel our energy where it matters most. Rather than letting circumstances dictate our actions, we become the architects of our path. Another core component of self-activation is cultivating mental clarity. Clarity isn't just about having defined goals. It's about creating a mental environment where focus can thrive. When our minds are cluttered, it's easy to get distracted, to lose sight of priorities, and to expend energy on things that don't move us closer to our objectives. Practicing mindfulness or setting aside time for regular reflection can help clear away mental noise, leaving room for meaningful thoughts and intentions. This clarity sharpens our decisions, enabling us to make choices that align with our highest potential. Self-activation also relies on the power of intention. While goals provide direction, it's intention that infuses each step with purpose and meaning. Setting an intention isn't about achieving perfection, but about aiming for progress. This focus on progress fuels a growth-oriented mindset, where even minor achievements become stepping stones for larger ambitions. When we approach each task with intention, we unlock a powerful motivation from within, one that keeps us moving forward even when challenges arise. This practice of intentionality transforms routine actions into purposeful habits, and over time, these habits compound to create profound change. A significant part of activating one's potential lies in mastering the art of momentum. Each positive action, however small, serves as a spark that sets momentum into motion. Momentum in this context is the accumulation of small wins that build over time, eventually transforming into powerful habits that no longer require as much conscious effort. This momentum doesn't happen overnight. It's cultivated through consistent, meaningful action. By focusing on making steady progress, we create a foundation that grows stronger with each success, and eventually, the journey toward self-mastery becomes a natural extension of who we are. Physical well-being also plays a role in the science of self-activation. Taking care of one's body through exercise, rest, and nutrition isn't just about physical health. It impacts our mental clarity, emotional resilience, and energy levels. When our bodies are in harmony, it's easier to stay motivated and maintain focus. This physical alignment supports a state of readiness, allowing us to tackle challenges with greater ease and confidence. A well-cared-for body supports a well-cared-for mind, both of which are essential in reaching one's fullest potential. To fully activate our potential, it's also essential to surround ourselves with a supportive environment. The people we interact with, the spaces we work in, and the resources we have access to all influence our ability to grow. By intentionally creating an environment that nurtures our goals, we give ourselves an edge. This might mean seeking out mentors, finding communities that inspire growth, or eliminating distractions that pull us away from our objectives. The more aligned our environment is with our goals, the less friction we face, allowing us to channel energy directly into what matters. Self-activation requires continuous learning and adaptation. The journey toward one's full potential isn't static. It's a dynamic process that evolves as we grow. By staying open to new ideas, challenging old beliefs, and seeking knowledge, we keep the path toward self-activation fresh and exciting. Each lesson learned becomes a building block, and every challenge overcome strengthens our capacity for further growth. This commitment to lifelong learning creates a cycle of reinvention, where each phase of growth lays the groundwork for the next. At its core, the science of self-activation is about creating an upward trajectory for ourselves, where each decision, each habit, and each day contributes to a greater vision. It's a path that requires discipline, curiosity, and resilience, but the rewards are profound. With each step forward, we're not only building lasting habits, but also transforming ourselves, reaching new heights in both our personal and professional lives. The science of self-activation isn't just a framework. It's a way of life that empowers us to step into our fullest potential, turning ordinary habits into the engines of extraordinary growth. Chapter 7. The Power of Synergistic Routines. The remarkable potential of synergistic routines lies in how individual actions, when strategically combined, amplify each other and create powerful momentum toward our goals. Rather than viewing habits as isolated efforts, the power of synergy is realized when routines are harmonized to enhance effectiveness across different areas of life. Each routine becomes a building block, and when arranged thoughtfully, they support and strengthen each other in a way that multiplies their impact. Like gears in a machine, each routine plays its part in pushing us forward, turning even modest efforts into extraordinary results. At the core of synergistic routines is the principle of alignment. When routines are aligned with a larger purpose, they not only become easier to maintain, but also generate energy and focus. Alignment brings clarity, helping us to prioritize the right routines that lead directly to our goals, while eliminating activities that drain resources without adding meaningful value. For example, a morning routine that includes exercise, reflection, and planning for the day is more impactful than a scattered, unfocused start. This alignment creates a rhythm that sustains energy and focus throughout the day, maximizing productivity and reducing the risk of burnout. Another powerful effect of synergistic routines is their ability to establish positive feedback loops. When we combine routines that complement each other, they naturally reinforce and sustain our motivation. For instance, a nightly habit of reflecting on the day's successes encourages gratitude, which boosts motivation for the following morning. These routines build on one another, generating a self-sustaining loop of motivation and growth. The progress we make in one area of our lives spills over into others, and this interconnectedness elevates us to higher levels of achievement than any single habit could achieve on its own. Synergistic routines also help conserve mental energy by creating a predictable structure. When routines are consistent and combined effectively, they eliminate decision fatigue, allowing us to move through our day with greater ease and focus. This structured approach frees up mental space to tackle creative challenges and complex tasks that demand more cognitive resources. The less energy we waste on small decisions, the more we have for the pursuits that matter most. Synergistic routines thus serve as a foundation, supporting creativity, innovation, and deeper problem-solving capacities. These routines also enable us to leverage momentum, which is key to maintaining progress over the long term. Small actions, when strategically linked, build momentum that propels us forward, even on days when motivation is low. Each step builds on the last, transforming what would be a series of isolated efforts into a cohesive and powerful flow of energy. This momentum helps us tackle larger challenges and pursue ambitious goals with confidence, knowing that each step is part of a larger synergistic system that supports our progress. An essential aspect of synergistic routines is that they integrate personal growth with professional advancement. When routines support our well-being, such as practices that enhance focus, emotional resilience, and physical health, these benefits naturally extend into our work. For example, a commitment to personal development routines in the morning sets a foundation that leads to a more productive and fulfilling workday. By creating a seamless blend between personal and professional routines, we cultivate a sense of balance that allows us to excel in both areas without sacrificing one for the other. In addition to their direct impact, synergistic routines also create a sense of accountability and self-discipline. When we commit to routines that align with our vision, they act as daily commitments to our goals. This self-discipline becomes a source of pride and motivation, reinforcing our commitment to excellence. Each completed routine serves as a reminder of our dedication, strengthening our resolve and building the mental fortitude needed to overcome obstacles. With time, these routines become less about external achievements and more about an internal drive to uphold our standards and values. Finally, the beauty of synergistic routines is that they foster resilience. When routines are integrated to work together, they create a stable foundation that withstands setbacks and challenges. Each routine acts as a support system, reinforcing our strength and adaptability. Even if one area of life faces temporary disruption, other routines help maintain balance and consistency, allowing us to bounce back with renewed focus. This resilience is what allows us to stay committed to our path, trusting that the routines we have in place will keep us moving forward no matter what. The power of synergistic routines lies in their ability to transform our efforts into something far greater than the sum of their parts. By combining routines in ways that enhance each other, we unlock a force multiplier effect that accelerates progress, strengthens resilience, and brings us ever closer to the extraordinary achievements we seek. Chapter 8: Beyond Discipline, Unleashing Inner Drive. True transformation lies not in endless self-control, but in tapping into a source of energy that feels almost limitless. When goals align with deep-rooted desires and authentic values, they become powerful motivators that sustain action far beyond what discipline alone could achieve. This inner drive doesn't require constant force. It becomes a natural part of our lives, guiding us without strain. The key is to connect with something that resonates within, a purpose that makes progress feel not like a chore, but like an exciting journey. Inner drive goes beyond the boundaries of external rewards and temporary achievements. Unlike goals set by outside expectations, this drive is anchored in something personal and meaningful. It is fueled by a vision that not only captivates the mind, but also stirs the heart. When a person is fully aligned with this vision, they find joy in the journey itself, finding small victories in each step, rather than merely waiting for the end result. The work becomes enjoyable and rewarding in ways that pure discipline could never match. This kind of drive taps into our natural love for growth, learning, and self-fulfillment, making each step forward an act of joy rather than duty. The foundation of inner drive lies in identifying and removing limiting beliefs that cloud our true motivations. When these beliefs are released, we find clarity and direction that make it easier to take action consistently. The journey becomes not about perfection, but about becoming more aligned with a higher purpose. By understanding what genuinely excites and inspires us, we remove the barriers of self-doubt, fear, and hesitation that often sap energy and motivation. This clarity in itself provides fuel, eliminating the need for constant mental battles and opening up a clear path for sustainable progress. Another powerful element of inner drive is its connection to identity. When we see our goals as extensions of who we are, they no longer feel external or distant. Instead, they become expressions of our deepest values and beliefs. For example, someone who sees themselves as a lifelong learner is naturally drawn to habits of reading, exploring, and understanding, without needing constant reminders or rewards. This integration between goals and identity creates a flow that propels us forward with little resistance. Rather than wrestling with the need to push through obstacles, we find ourselves moving fluidly in a direction that feels not just possible, but inevitable. Furthermore, inner drive thrives in an environment of gratitude and self-compassion. When we recognize and celebrate small achievements along the way, we create a positive feedback loop that reinforces our motivation. Self-compassion also plays a crucial role, as it allows us to view setbacks as part of the process rather than failures. This understanding of growth as a journey filled with both highs and lows helps us maintain a steady pace without the risk of burnout. Inner drive thus becomes sustainable, resilient, and adaptable, capable of adjusting to challenges while keeping us connected to our purpose. Developing a sense of curiosity also adds fuel to inner drive. When we approach goals with a curious mindset, we open ourselves to the richness of each experience. Curiosity transforms obstacles into opportunities for learning, removing the need to constantly rely on sheer discipline. Instead of feeling the pressure to perform, we begin to approach tasks with a sense of wonder, which keeps the process fresh and engaging. Curiosity keeps us from stagnating, encouraging us to explore new avenues, seek out innovative solutions, and keep moving forward with enthusiasm. Finally, inner drive is about creating a vision so vivid and compelling that it draws us in every day. This vision is not about mere accomplishment. It's about a future where we are living our highest potential. When this image is strong and clear, it becomes a powerful magnetic force that pulls us forward, minimizing the need for forced discipline. Each action we take, each habit we build, is then aligned with this future self, making even the smallest steps feel meaningful. With a clear vision, inner drive becomes a force that doesn't deplete over time, but grows stronger, continually guiding us towards a fulfilling and purpose-driven life. Chapter 9. The Habit Ecosystem. Every action we take, no matter how small, reverberates through a complex network of behaviors, shaping not only our immediate environment, but also the trajectory of our larger goals. This interconnectedness is the hallmark of what can be called the habit ecosystem. Within this system, each habit, whether intentional or automatic, acts as both a seed and a catalyst for other behaviors, creating a ripple effect that influences every aspect of our lives. At the center of this ecosystem lies the concept of alignment. When our habits align with our core values and long-term objectives, they naturally begin to support each other, creating a self-sustaining momentum. For instance, a habit like daily exercise not only strengthens the body, but often leads to healthier eating choices, improved sleep patterns, and increased focus throughout the day. This positive reinforcement between habits creates an ecosystem where success doesn't feel like a struggle, but rather a natural outcome of living in harmony with our purpose. However, the opposite is also true. A single negative habit can introduce friction into the system, destabilizing the entire network. It's like a weak link in a chain that holds back the strength of the rest. For example, a poor sleep routine can lead to a lack of energy, which might cause us to skip workouts, neglect healthy eating, or even procrastinate on important tasks. The damage is not contained to the bad habit itself. It spreads across multiple areas of our lives, creating a downward spiral of diminishing productivity and well-being. Recognizing this dynamic helps us see the importance of habit audits, periodically assessing the habits in our ecosystem and understanding how they interact. One of the most powerful ways to transform this ecosystem is through habit stacking. By consciously choosing to build new habits on top of existing ones, we create a seamless integration that requires little effort or willpower. For example, pairing a habit like drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning with a few minutes of meditation creates a beneficial ritual that supports both physical and mental well-being. Over time, this stacking approach compounds, with each new habit reinforcing the others. The key is to identify anchor habits, those that are already embedded in your routine, and consciously link them to desired behaviors, building an interconnected network of success. But habit ecosystems are not static. They are constantly evolving. As we grow and develop new skills, our priorities shift, and with them, our habits must adapt. A habit ecosystem that has supported us in one stage of life may not be as effective in the next. The ability to recalibrate and modify our habits in response to new challenges is essential for long-term growth. The most successful individuals are those who understand the dynamic nature of their habit ecosystems, who are willing to tweak and refine their routines as they move through different phases of life, always looking for ways to optimize and strengthen the system as a whole. An important component of a thriving habit ecosystem is feedback loops. In any well-functioning system, the output of one process feeds back into the system, strengthening or adjusting it. When we make progress toward our goals, it activates positive emotions and reinforces our commitment to continue. These positive feedback loops are crucial because they encourage consistency. Small successes compound, becoming a source of motivation that propels us forward. The act of tracking our progress, whether through journaling, habit tracking apps, or even simple reflection, enhances this feedback process and allows us to fine-tune our habits over time. Equally vital is the role of environment in shaping our habit ecosystem. The surroundings we choose to immerse ourselves in can either nurture or hinder our habits. A cluttered workspace, for example, can negatively impact our focus and productivity, while a well-organized and inspiring environment can reinforce habits of concentration and creativity. Surrounding ourselves with like-minded individuals who share similar goals can also create a supportive network, amplifying our ability to stay committed and motivated. The ecosystem of people and places we engage with becomes just as critical as the habits we practice, often providing the external energy and encouragement that fuel our internal drive. The beauty of the habit ecosystem is that its reach extends beyond the individual. As our habits evolve and build upon each other, they begin to affect those around us. A person who adopts a morning routine of mindfulness and gratitude, for instance, often spreads calm and positivity within their home or workplace, influencing others to engage in similar practices. Our habits become a silent form of leadership, guiding others through the power of example. As we strengthen our ecosystem, we create a ripple effect that extends far beyond our own lives, touching families, communities, and even organizations. In this way, the habit ecosystem is not just about personal success. It's a holistic, interconnected process that shapes our reality and extends its influence outward. Each positive habit we cultivate contributes to the overall health and vibrancy of our lives, creating a thriving system where growth and achievement become natural byproducts of a well-tended environment. By understanding the interconnectedness of our actions and the long-term impact of each decision, we empower ourselves to create a life that continuously evolves toward success and fulfillment. Chapter 10. The Legacy of Lasting Success. True success is not merely about reaching a destination. It is about creating a legacy that endures long after individual achievements have been surpassed. The habits we cultivate and the impact we have on those around us reverberate far beyond the scope of our personal goals. As we continue to evolve, we realize that the most significant victories are those that extend outward, shaping the lives of others, elevating communities, and influencing future generations. Habits, when practiced with intention and consistency, become a part of our identity. This identity extends beyond the momentary tasks and accomplishments of the day, reaching into the core of who we are and how we influence the world. They become the silent teachers of those around us, subtly shaping the environment in which we live. The power of our routines, once solidified, becomes an invitation for others to step into a similar rhythm. As we live our values and principles through our actions, we create a foundation upon which others can build. It is easy to overlook the importance of small actions when we are focused on immediate success. But it is these small, seemingly insignificant actions that, when compounded, create profound change. The daily disciplines of integrity, perseverance, and kindness form an invisible architecture, one that extends into the lives of those we interact with. A single act of discipline, such as choosing to wake up early and start the day with a positive mindset, can set the tone for the entire day. The energy from these small decisions infuses every encounter, every relationship, and every opportunity. Over time, this ripple effect becomes a force of transformation, not just for the individual, but for everyone they influence. As we strengthen our habits, we begin to see them not just as a means to personal achievement, but as a way to build a sustainable framework for future generations. The legacy of lasting success is not about the wealth, recognition, or titles we accumulate. It is about the values we pass on and the systems we put in place. By practicing excellence in our own lives, we create an environment where others are inspired to do the same. Through our habits, we teach others how to navigate challenges with resilience, how to approach failure as an opportunity for growth, and how to stay grounded in their purpose, even when the world around them is chaotic. The most powerful legacy we leave is not measured in material wealth or accolades, but in the lives we touch and the lasting change we inspire. Our habits, once internalized, become the framework for others to model. The way we treat ourselves, how we approach our work, and the way we care for our relationships all send a message to the world about what is possible. When we consistently show up with integrity, passion, and commitment, we create a culture of excellence that others can follow. This culture, built upon shared habits, becomes a collective movement toward greater possibilities. In the long run, the true measure of success is how our habits transform not only our lives, but the lives of those who follow. The success we achieve for ourselves becomes a beacon for others to follow, illuminating a path that leads toward a higher standard of living, thinking, and being. By focusing on the habits that will lead to sustainable success, we give others the tools to craft their own legacy. The influence of our habits, when consistently practiced and refined, becomes a catalyst for transformation, not just for our own lives, but for the collective good. The impact of lasting success is rooted in the quiet influence of our everyday choices. It is the simple decisions to live with integrity, to invest in personal growth, to build meaningful relationships, and to contribute to something larger than ourselves that form the true legacy of a life well lived. Each habit, no matter how small, becomes a building block in the foundation of success that transcends the individual, creating a ripple effect that continues to inspire, motivate, and elevate others long into the future. Conclusion. As you reach the end of this journey, consider where you are now compared to where you began. The distance between your present self and the person you wish to become isn't defined by how much you have yet to do, but by how much you've already begun to shift your mindset and your habits. What seemed like distant aspirations at the start now feel more tangible, because you've learned that success is not a singular event, but but a continuous process that unfolds through small, intentional choices made day after day. The power to shape your destiny is not hidden in some far-off place. It's in your hands, in the everyday decisions you make, the routines you build, and the mindset you cultivate. It's in your ability to turn fleeting moments into consistent actions, to transform ordinary habits into extraordinary achievements. These small, almost imperceptible changes will accumulate over time, quietly and steadily propelling you toward the life you've always desired. True success isn't about reaching a finish line. It's about the ongoing journey of becoming the best version of yourself. Every habit you nurture, every positive routine you integrate, is a step forward in a life that continues to expand, evolve, and grow. The foundation you've laid in these pages doesn't end when you close them. It begins anew each day with every action you take and every habit you reinforce. Now it's time to step into the rhythm of your future, armed with the knowledge that you are capable of becoming unstoppable. The journey ahead is yours to shape, and each moment is a chance to build on what you've started. The habits that drive success are within reach, ready to fuel the transformation you've already begun. The question isn't whether you can succeed, it's how far you're willing to go, one powerful habit at a time.